In this video, we'll dive deeper into how sections and elements work. In this story, we have two sections, section 1 and section 2, and the first thing we'll do is to give them some helpful names. You can go into the section settings by clicking the cog in the corner or anywhere in the white area. That will take you into the section settings. And here we can edit the section name by clicking the edit icon besides the text. We'll call this section for intro, and we click the green check mark to save. Clicking the X in the corner takes you back to the section overview, and from there we'll go into section 2 and rename that as well. We'll call that section final quote. And again, click the green check mark to save and the X in the corner to go back to the section overview. Right now we only have a single title in our intro section. But if we want to add a subtitle beneath it, we can click Add New, and we'll use a rich text element as a starting point that we can modify to our liking. Let's remove the default text and add in our subtitle. In the rich text editor, you can see that we have several formatting options. You can make the words bold, and if you click that, you can see in the story you have a bold word as well, italic, underline. In addition to that, you can change from paragraphs to headings, and there is also a bullet list and an ordered list as well. For now, we'll stick with the paragraph, but as you can see, the paragraph is left aligned, and it would look better if it was centered underneath the title. We can improve that by opening the paragraph font style settings. Here we can change properties such as text color, but also the container alignment and the text alignment within that container. If we set both of those to have a value of center, our subtitle becomes centered. To edit the font size, we can drag the font size slider. And finally, we need to add a bit more spacing to the top, which we can do by dragging the top spacing slider. In addition to adjusting space between elements, you can give space to entire section. First, you have to navigate to the section you want to change, then you can open the section settings, and here we can expand the settings toggle, and here we can change the parameters within. The height of the section is specified in percentage of the screen height. So if we change that to 50%, that would mean that the section is not as tall anymore. In the section overview, we can see that the intro section is taller than the final quote section. We'll change it back to 100% height and play with some of the other parameters. For instance, we can add more space before the content of the section by dragging this slider. When we go back to the section overview, you can see that we have this gray area on top of the final quote section. Having some extra space can be really useful if we want to give background elements more space to fade in or animate to where they need to be. Going into the section settings again, we can edit both the space before content and the space after content. The space after content does exactly the same thing, just at the bottom of the section. As you can see, we now have the gray area at the bottom as well. There is one more spacing option that you can add to section, and that is margin top. With that, you can add extra space to the section above. By default, the elements within a section are center aligned. If we don't want that, we can go into the section settings and toggle the center content switch. That will make the content snap to the top of the section instead. For now, we'll leave it as centered. You also have the option to reorder sections or elements within sections. We can try it out by adding a new section. We'll give that section the name of paragraphs, and within that add a rich text. And when you go to the section overview, you can see that when you click and drag a section, you can move its position. So here we switched places with the final quote section. So now the first section is intro, then we have our paragraphs, and then the final quote section. We can also change the order of elements within a section. So here we have a rich text. We'll add another rich text block. We'll quickly add some styling and make it right aligned. Add a little bit of extra spacing. When we now go back to the section settings, you can see that we have the two paragraphs that we have created and that you can click and drag to edit their location. One final note is that by default, you should work on the desktop breakpoint first. That is because the mobile breakpoint will inherit all the properties from desktop, but desktop won't inherit from mobile. When you have something that you're happy with on desktop, you can toggle to the mobile breakpoint and override specific settings. In this case, I feel like we could increase the font size of the subtitle a little bit. In addition to that, we can add a little bit more spacing to the top as well. And with those adjustments, the sections of this story look good. This has been an overview of how to use sections and section elements. Continue learning on instorier.com/learn or on our YouTube channel. See you soon.